Good evening, parents of my science talent students. I am putting this video together so that you have a better idea of what we're going to be doing this year for science talent class. That is my dog squeaking, the squeaky toy. He has to be here with me, so don't mind him. Uh, on the Bay Academy Science website, you see that I changed it a little bit, and I also, when you go to science contests, this has been changed quite a bit. And the reason I changed this is because we really needed to update it. And so I broke it down into three separate categories: sixth grade science talent, eighth grade, and eighth grade core. So sixth grade core. So sixth grade core is not going to be required to do many contests, but the ones that they are going to be required to do, they do have to do. Sixth and eighth are going to be basically doing the same things, only the eighth graders are a little more set in what they're going to be doing this year as far as contests because they've done this already in sixth grade. And as I explained to my sixth graders this past week, they'll be as familiar with it as my eighth graders are. I wish I could get them together because if my eighth graders could talk to the sixth grade students, it would clear things up. But hopefully we're getting there anyway. Okay, so most students are right about this point. They're in sixth grade, the year just started, and they don't know what to do. So over the last few years, I'm just going to skim through this. Over the last few years, we've changed the program every year, depending on what the students are capable of doing or the competitions themselves. This year, what they're going to do is compete in both long-term and short-term competitions. And mainly at the beginning of the year, we're starting off with the long term. So we have three basic competitions for the beginning of the year. This has changed from last year. Number one is Science Olympiad. And I bring up Science Olympiad only because the test, the tryout test, or the qualifying test for Science Olympiad is going to be next week, the following week, and the week after. There's three of them. You should have gotten the form already. And what I would suggest doing is going onto that Google form and registering as soon as possible so we know how many people are going to be taking the test. I told all my science talent that I want to require them to take the test, but it's after school. I can't make them come, but I want them to come and take it because one, it's never going to affect their grade, and two, it's a good introductory high stakes test that they'll be able to see, really what's going to be coming up later on, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. And it's a challenging test, but it's certainly, you come out of a better person. So the tests are coming up starting next week. If they don't make it onto the team, we're going to be taking about 15 students onto the team. If they don't make it onto the team, they're going to be doing one of two other competitions, either Future City and Explorer Vision. Parents, by the end of next week, which is going to be, let's take a look, October 1st, Friday, the kids have been talking about the contest in class. They've been talking to each other. I want them to break up into teams and figure out who they want to work with and what they want to work on. So I've shown them Explorer Vision, I've shown them Future City, I've explained it to them. And at this point, they have a pretty good understanding of what they are. Future City, it's a pretty straightforward competition. They're going to plan and design a city based on, this year the theme is No Waste City. Explorer Vision, they're going to be taking a piece of current technology and envisioning what it will look like and what it'll do 20 years from now. And I have to tell you, the eighth graders are just coming up with some great ideas. So what I want the sixth graders to do is also get together, and what I'm doing is I'm walking around the room, and if they have an idea, I can help them expand on it because I just love doing these contests. Students are responsible, once they get into their group, they're responsible for knowing everything about the competitions, deadlines, rules, submission deadlines. And so what I want them to do is really to look at especially the sixth graders, look at the two contests because the eighth graders are pretty well set and see what they want to do. In addition, I'm offering Engineer Girls and Scranton Earth Day essay if they wanted to do that. But right now, I want them to focus on Future City, or Explorer Vision. If they wanted to, we have some other competitions that are really, really dynamite. But usually every year I spread myself too thin, and this way I can't really focus on what we're doing with I can't really put enough time when we're doing 18 competitions. I can't put enough time in to work with every single group. So what I'm doing is doing those three competitions: Science Olympiad, Future City, and Explorer Vision. But if the students really had a desire to do any of the other competitions, say Future Engineers, but Future Engineers, the problem is it ends in November. We need a long-term contest. So if they wanted to do Future Engineers this year, it is absolutely wonderful. I sent out the link for that. I sent out the codes. And if they want to do that, that's wonderful. They have two easy ones and one fairly difficult, one rigorous one, but it's a great contest. But it ends, I think around November. Engineer Girl, it's not just for girls. It's an essay writing competition. University of Scranton Earth Day Essay, again, another writing competition. The Paradigm Challenge, if they wanted to do the Paradigm Challenge, it's also similar to Explorer Vision. If they wanted to, while they're in a group, once we get computers in the rooms, if they wanted to look at that and see what that involves, if they chose to do that, I would be okay with that too, in lieu of one of the other competitions, either Future City or Explorer Vision. But right now, I'm really sticking with those, especially for the sixth graders. If the eighth graders wanted to do Paradigm Challenge, I'd be better off with that. But for the sixth graders, Explorer Vision or Future City. Also, I think you got my email today saying that it's required that everybody register for eCyber Mission. And the reason I have everybody register is because we get some neat perks that I'm going to give the classes this year, and you're going to see what they are. Samsung Solve for Tomorrow, another good one. Safe Video Contest is a great competition. We had several students do it 2 years ago, and it was just great. They were just getting the hang of it when we went into lockdown. Here's a little bit of information about Science Olympiad, a little bit about Future City, and each one of these has a link to it. So, if you need to, you can always just go into, click on any one of those, and it'll bring you right to the contest. Explorer Vision, again, same thing. Carton to Garden, we did not do this year. We haven't done it for the last few years. But again, if anybody really wants to do something like that, let me know. You would really have to make a dedicated commitment to it. Otherwise, it's going to be Future City and Explorer Vision, which are not bad choices. eCyber Mission, this is what I'm going to have everybody register for. And I see already, I went to my Gmail and I see already a lot of people have registered for that. And here's a couple of other ones. Floor Challenge. Floor Challenge, I typically make mandatory depending on when contests end for everybody. It's this year, I believe it's a catapult, but it is a great competition. We have done wonderfully in this. And I think what I'm going to do is require this for science talent also, 6th and 8th grade, because depending on when it starts and finishes, we don't have the date for this yet. Some of them, they start late, we don't get the date yet. So it's hard to organize these things, these contests and competitions at the beginning of the year because we just don't know when they're going to be running them. My mini factory design challenges. If we have people who are going to be 3D builders for the Science Olympiad team, there will be a handful of people who will be strictly 3D builders. And what they'll do is they will be designing pieces and parts for the people who are going to be competing and in the competitions. And it is it's a full-time job. So they'll be going home, work on the computer, developing prototypes using 3D printing software, bringing a thumb drive in to school, setting it up on one of our many, we have I think about 5 or 6 3D printers, and they're running it, and then the team gets to see how it works. The team will then get back to the students, if you're a 3D printer, they'll get back to you and they'll say, oh, we need you to change this. This needs to be 2 millimeters longer. This needs to be, the diameter is 1 millimeter too wide. They will set up another prototype, and they run it the next day. So the 3D printing for the Science Olympiad team is pretty good. What I'm going to do is when I see the students this coming Wednesday and Thursday when they take the test, I'm going to talk to them a little bit about that because some students may be taking the test, but they may want to be 3D printers. Okay. Some of the other minor competitions that happen later in the year, Poetic Power. I don't even have New York Art and Poetry Contest. We always do very well with that. I don't have that here, but I'm going to add that. So that's really what the kids are going to be doing this year. Just know that you just go to the science contests, and they are going to be taking the test, the first one next week, all science talent, and a lot of other kids in the school. So that letter and Google form was sent out to the entire school for anybody who wants to be on the Science Olympiad team to sign up. Listen to me. If you don't make it in sixth grade, do not be disappointed. You try for seventh grade. And if you don't make it in seventh grade, you try for eighth grade. I'll tell you right now, we have had some of our rock stars on the Science Olympiad team come in as eighth graders. We have some of them come in as at seventh graders. So it's one of those things where sixth grade, you got so much going on. Who knows what to think your first few weeks, especially when you're in my class, because I'm throwing so much stuff out there. Okay, so if you have any question about science talent class, what they're going to be doing, I hope this helps clear it up. You can go on to this site and you come down to any one of these links. These are all clickable links, and you will find out about the competitions. And if you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to ask, or let your son and daughter do not hesitate to ask me any questions in class. Okay, and we will see you Monday. Okay. You have a good weekend. Thank you.